Joining us, Nadim is with us, Ali as well, Craig.
Too busy cramming all those cup competitions in to send you the right text.
Oh, that's
Sorry,
it.
I'm not even going to give you any context.
That's it.
On for you.
Stevie, disappointed we're not looking ahead to West Ham Leicester. What were you thinking when I asked you?
Well, that's a good question in general.
I didn't think we were going to even bother talking about Man United.
So
and then you mentioned Leicester. So I thought you were going to talk about Leicester and West Ham.
That's what we normally do on this show.
no,
West Ham
but-
Leicester.
But considering the rubbish that had been on already, why not?
What show?
Wow.
Hey, all right, okay.
I'll send him to see you after. Craig, give Arsenal fans some hope for next season.
Good back four. Pretty solid midfield. Might add to that. Oh, they've signed Zubimendi, I think. Is it? Staring you in the face. You know, maybe some extra support in the wide positions, but definitely
Yep.
you got to address the elephant in the room. What are you laughing at?
Well, we were looking for some hope, and then we kind of went back to the same.
yes. You took the hope away.
The hope is that they'll address the glaring problems that they have.
But let's be fair to Craig.
What's that?
To ask Craig to give you hope,
Well,
that seems like we're
Well,
reaching.
that's somebody in a very desperate situation asking me.
Yeah. Naden, why won't Arteta utilise a striker from the academy?
It's a good question. Maybe because they're probably not good enough right now.
Yeah.
I think that tends to be the way it works. Or maybe he's trying to make a point to the board that maybe he needs one for next season. So yeah, I'm sure something is in play, but realistically, they could have gone against Forest today and not made any difference as it stands. So yeah, I guess that's it for me.
Stevie, can we start singing the song? We're going to win the league. We're going to win the league.
I won't.
Why won't you? You have a lovely voice, I've heard
I
it.
just wouldn't jinx it. But I'm sure you're going to hear it between now and when the proof is in the pudding.
Right, okay.
So,
If you
there's your
sing it
answer.
tonight, now, right, and they don't win it, you'll
It'll be my fault.
You'll be the echo.
Yeah,
It'll be
yeah,
my
the
fault.
Liverpool Echo.
Yeah.
Former Liverpool legend Steve Nicol curses.
Jinxed.
As soon as it's signed, sealed and delivered, you'll get it.
Ali, what can we truly expect for United to do in the summer if they can't afford to feed the staff in the cafeteria? This is the news where, of course, they're sacking 250 people. They used to have free lunches for everyone, which I didn't even know was a thing.
What, lunch?
Well, we don't get free lunches here.
Well, no.
Is that
Well,
traditional
free or
business?
otherwise.
We have to pay.
You just go and help yourself.
I tell you what, they should be giving it away.
There is plenty to do.
Paying us to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you hating on the soups down at the
I tell you
cafeteria?
what, the soup. All right. I feel now.
Leave it.
I feel now that there's some glaring eyes.
Can you believe I'm the voice of reason here? Leave it.
I feel now there's,
Especially when it comes to
Leave
food.
it.
there's a couple of glaring eyes in an office upstairs going, what the hell are they talking about the cat? So we're going to leave it.
Right, leave the chat
gonna
thing.
leave it.
Yeah. Do you know? Sorry. Do you know we have the honesty cafe? Obviously, it's where you can pay by yourself. Someone was a guest on Sports Centre and thought it was all free once. It just took a big
Really?
That's pretty, I mean, the checkout machine in front of all the snacks is not to give away.
It can't be relevant.
know.
That's fine. Just take it.
They might have done.
Right. Anyway.
Let's just say that Manchester United are at least 5-6 players away from anything that would make this team consistently competitive. I'm not even talking about winning anything. I'm talking about being competitive and actually a team that can be respected and not overlooked by Stevie in terms of the conversation, Leicester, West Ham, so on and so forth, right? They're at least 5 or 6 players away from that.
Right.
How you go about affording those players if you cannot afford food in the cafeteria, that's a different conversation.
What's at the top of the list then, Nathan? Which position?
The soup in the cafeteria.
Do you know what? Let's disregard the playing side of things. Let's talk about the people who actually work at the football club and have done for a long time. You know, they've got the owner in who they thought that they wanted, and instead things are basically collapsing around them. I think a lot of people who work for football clubs, like the goodwill and the good feeling that they have, is something that they're proud of, and it goes beyond the football itself on the field. So for somebody to come in and to change everything from that standpoint to where your working environment is so different, that's going to build resentment. So hopefully, from their perspective, success on the pitch comes. But in reality, it's going to be harder to keep the staff there because of the fact that now they feel like being treated in an appropriate way. So maybe, try and keep the staff happy, because then maybe the players will be happier, and then maybe they can be a successful football club again. But I'm not holding my breath.
If you went round that team talking about pushing them up to even be getting in the top 4 and said, what position do we not need to look at to get into the top 4? And the answer is that there's none of them.
No.
There's no position they don't need to look at.
Every single one.
Including the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
The defence, the midfield, and the front line. Everyone you could replace if you probably have to. I mean, that's just incredible.
Stevie, is Anfield a really tight pitch, or is it that the stands are so close to the pitch?
Yeah, it's because
stands.
of the proximity, yeah.
And then what is the biggest pitch that you've played on?
I think the biggest, it would be Wembley. Mm-hmm. But in terms of league clubs, Manchester City, which by the way,
the old one.
Back at Main Road.
the old Main
old
Road.
day.
Yes.
And the crazy thing about it is, it was the worst thing that Man City could do because they didn't have a very good team.
Right.
And so when teams like ours would go there, we couldn't wait to get on the field because it was so big. And we would just stroke the ball around and they would run after it, and then they'd collapse after an hour, and then we'd just steamroll them. But they never changed it.
Right.
No manager that I can remember ever came in and said, right, we need to narrow the field so we can compete. It was just a great place to go because you knew you were going to be able to play.
Nadim, you were on the terraces for that, watching that, I imagine?
Yeah, well, maybe not when Stevie was playing there.
No,
but I was ball boy there. And I guess they were just, come on, let's behave ourselves. But it was a massive pitch. And it's funny that he said that because I was lucky enough to play in it a couple of times, winning the FA Youth Cup and in an academy like playoff semi-final as well. And it was always a massive pitch. You could see some teams really go and enjoy themselves there. And I was only speaking to someone the other day about, say, when I was ball boy, I think, it's towards the end of the time at Main Road. Arsenal, we always used to come there. Vieira's flicking the ball over people's heads. It's 4-5-0. And I was going to mention the fact that the Emirates was one of those really big fields as well. And it felt big because they made it big and they played it big, and it was always a nightmare. But yeah, some good memories from that place, Main Road.
What about Everton, Stevie Goodison? That's a big pitch, isn't it? Remember he pointed it?
Oh God, that's when he was doing his maths.
I'm trying to figure
He
it
was
out.
arguing with me how big the penalty box was.
Yes.
I don't know how much. But then he went up to the screen and he pointed at that
The 10-yard.
10-yard line from the corner going, look!
So you miss out on all this, guys, all this excitement in the green room. Biggest pitch you played on, Ali?
I can't remember.
No.
I know, I can tell you.
So
that
I wasn't expecting such disdain to that.
Yeah,
I remember smaller.
Sorry for asking a question.
Well, I can't remember. I would say you remember Spartan Stadium in MLS. That was smallest stadium or field.
San Jose.
Yeah, in San Jose.
Right.
It was. It was made even smaller by the fact that there were walls right next to the sidelines, and so
When you took a corner,
yeah,
you couldn't take a corner.
you had to take a step.
You had to jump over a wall. And then...
Yeah, you were. If that's your corner flag, the wall was here.
Right.
So you're actually standing against the wall to take a corner.
Yeah, so your run up would be at an angle.
Right.
But for those that could play there at Spartan Stadium, and those of us who are challenged in the area of speed,
Yeah.
Spartan Stadium was perfect
Because it was tight.
because it's playing small-sided, and then being able to use your body was a strength. So I love playing at Spartan Stadium. Big fields, not so much. That's why I have disdain
That's why
for
the
the big
disdain was
fields.
there.
we don't measure parks when we go out on them, do we? Did you look at me?
Yeah, I did. I was expecting.
So I don't know if Wembley is the biggest, is it? Is it the biggest? But I definitely played
Do you know
at
what?
Main Road.
You're right. It was the sort. There was something about it. It was legendary for sapping your strength.
Wembley.
Wembley. You're probably right. As opposed to the actual size.
Right.
It was something to do with the turf that sapped the energy out of you.
Will Hoyland ever score again, Ali?
Well, I don't know why you're looking at me. I would say that there are many things that are troubling about Hoyland. The fact that he's playing at Manchester United is one of those things, but he's not getting chances to score. And as a striker, it's one thing if you're missing the chances, but it's not like he's getting a multitude of chances that he's missing time and time again. They don't create enough. He has zero confidence, running around, doing a whole lot of work, and it's meaningless work, thankless work.
Final question, Stevie. What do you think of Szoboszlai's turnaround this season?
I think I wouldn't say the whole season's been a turnaround. I think just before Christmas,
Well, maybe turn around this season, from the start to the season to now.
Right.
He's turned it around.
Well, to now, right now he's playing as though he's got 3 or 4 lungs, because the guy is absolutely running around everywhere. When he loses it, he's the first guy to chase. When he needs to defend, he's defending. When he needs to be in the opposition's box, he's in the opposition's box. So.
Is that not just fitness rather than having 4 lungs?
Well, it helps if you got 4 lungs, I can assure you. No,
It's a boy. No. How many lungs does he have?
And he's probably playing a little bit higher this year than he did.
Maybe the turf is not sapping the energy.
In Anfield, it's tight because of the stands.
Turf.
But if you want,
Nice question to end. Oh, nice haircut, Dan Thomas. Oh, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
What?
I know.
I'm sorry, what?
Talk us through the front bit.
He just kept going.
Oh, that
I know,
bit.
but you got like a silver fox thing going on.
It's
up
like an
there.
Elvis thing. Where he's like,
Hello Reds, welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into everything Manchester United. Today, we're breaking down what to expect from United this summer, now that Ruben Amorim is at the helm. Transfers, squad rebuilds, and realistic ambitions. It's all on the table. Let's be honest, this season has been far from the level we expect as United fans. The team has struggled for consistency, injuries have piled up, and questions over squad quality remain. With Amorim stepping in, the big question is, how much can truly change in one summer? Before we dive into the details, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. We're bringing you the latest on United every day, and you won't want to miss it. How big is the rebuild? Let's not sugarcoat it. United are at least 5 or 6 players away from being a top-level team again. The defense needs reinforcements, the midfield lacks balance, and the attack has been frustratingly inconsistent. Players like Rafael Varane and Casemiro are past their peak, while others, like Mason Mount and Antony, haven't justified their price tags. Amorim will need to be ruthless in reshaping the squad. But does United's budget allow it? Financial constraints. What can United actually afford? One major concern is whether United have the spending power to back Amorim. Reports suggest financial constraints, with even staff cuts and cafeteria budget reductions making headlines. If the club is struggling off the pitch, how aggressive can they be in the transfer market? Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos have promised smarter recruitment, focusing on young, hungry players, rather than expensive big names. But with rivals strengthening, United can't afford another transfer window of half measures. If budget issues force a conservative approach, Amorim will have to work miracles with what he has. Which positions need the most attention? Goalkeeper. Onana has had an up-and-down debut season, but he's likely to stay. Defense? Centre-back depth is a must, especially with Varane's future uncertain. Midfield. A top-class number 6 is desperately needed to bring balance. Attack? Rasmus Højlund needs proper support, and United lack depth on the wings. Every area of the pitch could use an upgrade, which tells you how much work is ahead. But with the right signings, Amorim can start shaping United in his vision. A high-energy, attacking team built on discipline and pressing. Realistic. Expectations for next season United fans are used to dreaming big, but let's be real, challenging. For the Premier League is not happening overnight. The first target under Amorim should be securing top 4 and ensuring United play with a clear identity, something that's been missing for too long. With smart recruitment, proper coaching, and a shift in mentality, United can make strides forward. But patience will be key. The club is in transition, and while Amorim is a promising appointment, success won't happen in one summer. Final thoughts: Manchester United's summer will define the next few years. If Amorim gets the backing he needs, there's hope for a real rebuild. But if the club's financial issues get in the way, we could be in for another frustrating season. What do you think, Reds? How many signings do we need? Can Amorim turn things around quickly? Or will this be a longer process? Let us know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe for all the latest Manchester United updates. Big summer ahead. Let's see what happens.